what actually happened and why this could potentially get way, way worse than it already is. Let's go. Guys, thank you so much for tuning in here on this Sunday. Let me just see, where is here my camera? 1 second. Because the camera is not here. There. I found it, I found it. No. No. I don't want my phone here. Sorry guys for that. So, but here we go, here we go. So, and also, I don't need Telegram right now. So what actually happened was that Iran just blocked off the Strait of Hormuz, and that strait is the most important route for transporting oil all around the world. 20% of the oil supply is getting transported through that strait. So now here on the oil chart, you can see that over the last couple of days, before the US market closed, that we were already consolidating here above that, 2 years almost ongoing downward sloping trend line here. And now for the first time, we broke above it in the last couple of days and start to consolidate above that trend line, which is really, really bad. Now, because the market is not trading today and will trade tomorrow, I can guarantee you tomorrow, this is what you're gonna see on the oil chart. So when you watch the oil chart tomorrow, the oil chart will skyrocket tomorrow. The good thing is the crypto markets can now price this in already. That's why we are dropping, and also other risk on assets that are able to trade around the clock. They can price this in right now. But the traditional market that are closed, they're gonna price that in tomorrow when they when the markets are open, you know. So, and that means tomorrow you're gonna see oil. I expect oil to be around somewhere between $80 and $95, so which is crazy for oil. So, and we're gonna get inflation. We get a lot of bad things that is coming with the tail that strings along. But there is something really, really good about this, and that is because inflation will now skyrocket too, because the oil price is going so crazy, Powell will be forced to do rate cuts way, way sooner than he anticipated. Even potentially an emergency rate cut is now on the table with something like this happening here right now. So because you're gonna see tomorrow what's gonna happen when the markets are open, and that will definitely force potentially his hand to go and do emergency cuts. The DXY tomorrow will also explode at the same time, as long as Powell is not coming out straight away and says, like first thing tomorrow morning in the US, he says, okay, emergency cuts, you know, we have to do it. Inflation is back, you know, like crazy. Oil is spiking. So as long as Powell is not coming out saying that, expect also the dollar to go straight up in like, in a crazy candle. It will break out of that bearish pattern here to the upside, while it actually should go to the downside. So, and that will only break to the downside if we get an emergency rate cut. But as long as oil will be spiking, the dollar will spike too. When we're looking then at the crypto market for now, let me refresh that again. So just in the last couple hours, in the last hour, we're here $62 million worth of Bitcoin positions liquidated. Most of them were here longs, like $60 million worth of long positions, which is crazy. And 1.7 million in shorts. So how that must have been crazy over leveraged or something like that they got liquidated in the last hour. But regardless, overall $135 million was liquidated in the last hour. Okay, now it changed, but it's because time moves on, you know. So, but it was like a minute ago, $136 million just in an hour. So, which is a massive, massive amount. When we're looking then at the Bitcoin chart, so we are still holding here on to the mid-range of the overall trading range that we are currently in. As long as we are holding the mid-range, I'm not really concerned that we break here lower, but we are definitely testing it. So we need, what is that here now, the closest one? Yeah, a 4-hourly candle close will come up here in 1.5 hours again. I need a 4-hourly close above that line here to potentially get a relief bounce. Best case scenario would be back here to the middle band of the Bollinger Band to $105,000 approximately, but I think we will not even get that high. But anything above $100,000 for me with a daily close will be fine. So if we don't get a daily close above $100,000 and we start consolidate along that mid-range line here, expect at some point that we're gonna get here the final shakeout and then go up. But only after we basically came here back into the mid-90s. That region here, if we ever get there, if we really get there, that is your golden opportunity to go all in with everything what you have. Sell your house, sell your wife, sell your kids or kidneys, you know, or a finger, whatever you don't need, you know, sell it and put it into the market at that point. Because once we are getting here, that will be in this cycle, that is your once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get Bitcoin before the bear market below $100,000 again at that level here. But yeah, so at least that's what I'm doing. So I'm gonna get the rest of money that I have available and put it there in the market. So 1 second. Okay, so then when we go to the 1-hourly chart, so here you see that drop that we had. So basically when the news broke, that is when we lost, completely lost that support range here where we tried to break back into it and basically retested this as resistance. And then when the news broke, we got that really ugly move to the downside here. Now, in 30 minutes, if we are getting here now in the remaining time for that 1-hourly candle, a proper bounce, then I would expect that we are able to close somewhere at $100,600, $100,800. That would be a good level where I would like to see the current 1-hourly candle closing. So we are already back above $100,000 here. So if we see now here, bulls stepping in and pushing it above these levels here, temporarily we will be fine. You know, over the next coming hours we will be fine if we close here now that candle, because then the following candle will also push here a little bit higher again. But the problem is that most likely around the lower end of the EMA ribbon, that is where the resistance will come in here at $102,000 approximately. And if we get a rejection from there and come again down, that will be again really, really bad for us. So that's something that we don't want to see. Best case scenario would be that now, like I said, that block of that oil road is completely priced in. And by tomorrow, we see here a massive recovery, because the indicators were telling us for a couple of days now on the higher time frames that we are ready to go back to the upside. But then things like that usually happen. On the daily chart here, so that is now definitely the bearish divergence playing out. And at the same time, I want to show you this other pattern here. I just saw this today, and by the way, I was about not to make a video at all today, because I don't feel so well today. I was yesterday way too long out. I came back at 4 in the morning. I was like, I think I will not do anything today and just lay the whole day in bed, which I more or less also did. But here, otherwise I would have spotted this. We have here an M pattern that also just broke. So this M pattern is not confirmed, like the break is not confirmed yet, because here is the line for that M pattern. And I would take the target from here, the target line. So here you see there, that target would be $92,000 for that bearish pattern here. Would I trade this? myself, no, I definitely not into the target. So, and also you need this current daily candle to close below that line for confirmation. So I would not enter this right now. So because yeah, it can just bounce back to the upside and then you're out of that trade again. So, but if you want to trade this short, then this is how I would do that. So like I said, I would wait for today's close and I would put a stop loss at like $102,500. And then instead of 92,000, I would go to 95. So you see here, the risk to reward ratio is absolutely fine for a trade like that. So we are looking here at, yeah, a 1 to 3 risk to reward ratio, approximately 5.65% to the downside. So if you trade with 10x leverage, that is not too crazy. You still make over 50% here on that trade setup, or you lose potentially 16.7%. You know, so but if we close here, that daily candle below that neckline here, that will be a major signal for potential more downside. So, but I would not try to be too greedy here in that move and just get out around 95, because you see also here there is a lot of support from that area and you want to be out before we are potentially piercing that and snapping straight back to the upside. So that's why I would not risk that. I would not risk that to try to squeeze 1% or more or 2-3% more out of that trade and be greedy and potentially yeah, round trip or even end up in a loss, you know. So rather have the target a little bit higher, and that way you make sure that you get at least with profit out of your trade instead of trying to chase here another 2-3%. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's 1.5%, you know. So I would not, okay, a little bit more. It's like really 2% or something. Yeah, okay, it's 2.5%, you know, so I would not do that for 2.5%. So if you want to trade this, do this on BloFin, guys. There is that trading competition happening, and I want to mention this here again. Where is now the tab that I had open for this? So here. So if you sign up on BloFin and you deposit at least $500, then you can join my alpha trading group, guys. So the only thing that you have to do that, I do it now here with you step by step, because so many people seem not to be able to get what they have to do. You sign up with that link, you deposit $500, then you send your BloFin number, your UID, either to me on Telegram and my team, or on my Twitter account. So you can also send me a message here on my Twitter account. Sorry, here. So here on my Twitter account, AMCrypto Alex, there you can also send the UID. And then, only then you click on this link, you know, because if you click on this link right now, you will get into the waiting room and everybody that did not follow step 1 and 2 will get denied. You know, if I see that happening too often, that you try and click and try to get in and think that me and my team are stupid and we don't check if you actually followed these other steps, then we will never let you in. You know, so just follow the steps, really easy. You know, you find in the pinned, here in the chat, in the pinned message, there are also all the links, or in the description of that live stream, or in any video when you go back to my older videos, guys. So let's go back to the charts quick. So here, liquidation levels. Now we have taken almost everything on liquidity that was available from the long side. So it is still a little bit more to the downside here, but this stops around $95,000. There you see again why I would not try to go below that. You know, if I would short, you know, if I would open a short, I would not try to go below with my target below 95, because there is a liquidity gap, and usually from these liquidity gaps, or just before them, price bounce or comes back down. So I would not risk that. You know, so that's why I'm telling you guys, don't do it. Just don't do it. And we have, of course, here now massively over-leveraged short liquidity sitting again, that at some point this week will definitely be tackled. So I can see here this move right now, and potentially a further move tomorrow, if it's going to happen, to the downside, to be that one move that we were waiting for, where everybody's like, okay, now we have been there, you know, so we went that low, now we can go up again. So, and that might be either happening right now in front of our eyes, or it will drag on into tomorrow. But I believe tomorrow, latest, we will be done with that. On the liquidation heat map, also here, again, a lot of confluence that we go here potentially to $95,000. You see here we are eating currently into this liquidity block that stops here at $99,300. From there also we should definitely get short-term a small bounce back to the upside. If we cannot hold on to that level, expect that we go really quickly here to like 97 and then potentially 95,800 and then to 95. And then, as you can see in that blue area, that blue area is the area from where I expect by the latest that Bitcoin will turn around and go back above $100,000. On the MDX Algo scalp gradients here, now I want to remind you again what I said the other day, where I said I don't like these reversal indicators here. These two plots of them, because usually it means that we get one more time here a move to the downside before we go up, and that's exactly what happened here. I will admit I was a little bit confused because they were so close to each other, and I have rarely seen that they are that close to each other, that I was like, okay, maybe we are actually going up now, and then we came up here and it looked good until it didn't. And we came back down. So, and when this here happened, then I was like, okay, now we have to be careful. That could spiral further down, and that's what happened. So now we have here again a reversal indication. Again, not trusting this for now. What I rather want to see is dot plots. Dot plots here on the reactor indicator on the bottom. So look here. I want 2 of these dot plots. When I see 2 of these dot plots, then I know there is a sustained rally coming. Just that you see it here, move to the upside. Here, move to the upside. So that is what I'm looking for currently. If you want this indicator, by the way, you can go into, again, the description of the video. There is a link where you get this indicator. It costs, but I also want to mention it got more expensive now. You get a discount with my link. I think you get 30%, so which is actually not bad. So yeah, no, it's still the same price then. Yeah, so it's no, for you it did not change at all. So just my own subscription got more expensive, but that's my problem, not yours. So but you still get the same price even after the price increase. Yeah, so that's what I'm looking for. So and there we go. We just got here the first one. So now I wait in the next 4-hourly candle to get the second one. When I have the second one, that is my signal where I know, okay, now I can long. Now I can long Bitcoin, because now there is a sustained rally coming and going to the upside, and not that we break here further to the downside, what we are literally seeing here right now. So you see here how quick that goes. That is exactly what I just mentioned here with the liquidity. Then when we start breaking into this here, there will now spiral to the downside. So if that is not going really quickly in the next 10 minutes back to 99, yeah, basically to $100,000, then expect that they will definitely go here into that blue zone here, where we have massive order blocks of buy orders. That will be the target. That will be the target where we are going potentially, if we are not coming here really quickly back above $100,000. Also here, on the Elliott wave count, so potentially we have found now our 2 that we were looking for. So I hope that this is our 2, or that the 2 is here actually in the golden ratio, and that's usually the case in like a perfect world. That is where you find your 2 on the Fibonacci golden ratio. So if we are finding it here, absolutely perfect, because after the 2 comes expansion into the third wave, and the third wave is the most powerful wave, and also the wave that goes the highest. So this is just here right now, how to say that again, for educational purposes, is that free up here, you know? So you don't know where the free actually stops until it happened, you know? So you can get a little bit of a guidance with the again with the golden ratio here, because usually you also come with a free into the extended golden ratio, but sometimes it overshoots quite a lot, you know, so it can have that it overshoots here quite a lot. Not saying that we are going here in that free wave already like to $150,000, $160,000, which can potentially be happening, but definitely here like 130 is something that I can see in that wave 3 happening. And then you get your wave 4, which is then the last pullback, and then you get your wave 5, which is usually shorter than the third wave, and that could be potentially 150, 144, 150, something like this. But first, let's see if we can confirm that we have our 2 down here right now. Because if we have it and we get in the next 2-3 days a nice move to the upside, amazing. Then we know, okay, now everything is ready to go back into higher levels. Oh, I actually lost one of my charts here. Okay, I just leave it right now. Or did I? Was that not? Oh, no, it's fine. Okay, that's why I got confused. Okay, so the Bitcoin dominance is here, of course, absolutely rampaging to the upside, but I also warned about this. I told you guys in the last couple of days, if something crazy happens in Iran and Bitcoin drops to the downside, we're gonna see a breakout from the Bitcoin dominance here to the upside, and we will not get that breakdown that we were looking for. So this here for now is just a deviation, in my opinion. It will be only confirmed that this is not a deviation if we will now have a couple of days where we are continuing to move here in that big resistance area. So, but what I believe rather is happening, either by tomorrow or after tomorrow, that we're gonna see that the dominance comes really quickly back to the downside. The total free market cap, not surprising, is dropping here with everything else. We are even below $778 billion, which was a support level. Also here, if we are bouncing today here at any moment, then you're gonna see that we are actually closing within this downwards sloping parallel channel. If not today, then also here tomorrow we should come back. Now altcoins, if you want to trade altcoins, by the way, guys, do it on Bybit, one of my favorite exchanges where I love to trade on my altcoin trades. There is a link in the pin comment below where you get up to $30,000 in deposit and sign-up bonuses. So go and check that out with the link. Now Ethereum is also at a key support level right now. I actually need to change here already the color of this. And at the same time, we are seeing here a small bounce from the $2,176 level right now. So here, potentially, let me look on the 1 hourly chart. I would say another 30 minutes, and 30 minutes is good. So if we hold another 30 minutes above that white line here, I might open an Ethereum trade from here. So also here, for now, that breakdown could be a deviation, but the same rule like with Bitcoin, in the next coming days, we have to come back up here, basically in a V-shaped recovery to confirm that, and then fairly quickly also get the breakout to the upside from that bull flag pattern. So, but for now, I would be looking for a lower entry for a long position. Like I said, another 30 minutes above that line, and that would be then, let's see, a little bit lower. Yeah, here, that. So that. Here, 20% move to the upside, 4.5% stop loss. So that, 5x is what I would trade this with. That would be for me absolutely fine because it's 100% when it goes back here to $2,600 and 20% of a loss potentially. If it goes against me. So why all the way up here? Of course, that will take a couple of days. That will not go in a straight line like this. Unless the war would stop. You know, the war would stop, boycott stops, everything stops. Then, of course, then you get a candle like this. Otherwise, this will take a couple of days to get there. First of all, point of control is at around $2,500. What usually happens is when we come to the point of control, as you can see here, we are spiking a little bit higher. So, and we have spiked here basically the whole time when we came over the point of control on the VPVR, we spiked into that resistance area up here. So, and I just want to scratch on it. And then I want out of that trade. So, and that's the reason why I gonna set my take profit all the way up here. Because I would expect when we get here close to the point of control that we get here that spike again into that area, get another rejection, and then potentially consolidate and then break through that at some point eventually. Solana bounced here also already from $126.50. Here, that old setup, I can actually move that over. This takes forever, but okay, I'm gonna talk in the meantime while this is coming over. Actually, let me just do this. Takes too long. Just gonna take this one here down. So here, the same thing with Solana on the 1 hourly chart. I think it looks similar. Yeah, so this will bottom out here in 9 minutes. So if we get here above another percent, so I want to see another percent up here for Solana, and then I would enter this. So I want basically that the price is above that dashed downward sloping trend line, and when it's above that trend line, then I would enter this also here into a long position. But for a scalp, of course, the target will be way lower. Let me put this back to a 4 hourly chart. So I would first trade this here only into the old support zone at $145. That's where I would go with this. Yeah, 2% stop loss. So because this could also potentially now act as resistance. And if it does, you want to get out there. So but that we are going up there, if we are bouncing here now, highly likely that this is what's going to happen. And we're going to see that. Then potentially, if the market turns around, comes back down, consolidate, and goes to the upside. So because I believe wherever the bottom is right now, so it can be lower. It doesn't have to be here. You know, that really and that's like for everything, for Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever it is, that doesn't have to be the bottom where we're at right now. So we can still go lower. So, but wherever we're gonna stop to go to the downside, and you see a proper bounce coming, that is where I'm gonna try to enter. So wherever that is, and also at the same time, this will be the level where this move will come to a stop in the short term. You're gonna see it when Solana goes back to the upside from wherever the bottom is. That will be the first key level where Solana will potentially get rejected from, and that's why I'm gonna get out there. It doesn't matter if the bottom is down here and I enter from there, or from up here where I had now originally this setup. It doesn't matter. That level here, $145, is where we're going to get out of that trade. Unless really the bottom is here somewhere below $120, you know. So then I've over 20% of profit on spot already, plus leverage. Then I just raise my stop loss, you know. So then I'm going to put my stop loss somewhere here around like $135 or something. And then, because there is the potential that we break through this, surprisingly, and go higher. And then I just don't want to be sidelined, you know. So I rather raise then just my stop loss if we go here that much lower, but it doesn't look like it right now. Then the next one is render. Here, render, we fall out of that falling wedge here. Again, could be potentially a deviation. The indicators all screaming oversold across all time frames, besides the weekly. But here daily, under 30 is oversold on the RSI. So and here's one of my small little tricks, guys. Every time when on the 4 hourly chart and on a daily chart, the RSI is around or way below 30, that is where you want to buy. You don't need any other indicator, to be honest. You know, RSI under 30, that is where you start building positions, massive positions. So, and that's why personally I have a huge render trade going on right now. I'm holding that trade actually right now through all of this, you know. So, and I'm in here from $3.46. I'm still holding it, you know. So I dollar cost average, of course, down to get a better entry and to lower my entry, but I'm still in it and I keep holding it because I'm pretty convinced that, for example, these lows here will be not swept. So this will be a higher low, and at some point you're going to see the recovery. So, and I just hold this trade until I get into profit. The same with my SUI trade. Here we came into the golden ratio, which is usually also a huge level from where we get a bounce, and also here on the time frames 4 hourly and also on the daily, completely oversold like everything currently. And here at some point, you're going to get that nice V-shaped recovery. So golden ratio, again, with the confluence, with the RSI being below 30, that is where you want to get into a position. So and here, if you would get into here Sui, for example, from here, I would trade this back for Sui to $2.80. That would be my first stop. So there I would have here. And then current price, you want to see that coming a little bit higher before you enter this. So this I would enter with the with a 30-minute candle close above $2.48. So you see here that is like a 16% move, and that will happen really quickly once we are going here back to the upside while we are so oversold. So that's why I'm looking right now at a lot of stuff like that. So I want to do like I have like a couple minutes left. I want to do like 2 or 3 coins that you guys put in the chat. So write in the chat what coins I should go quick through. 1 coin per person, guys. 1 coin per person. Okay, let's see. Come on, guys. Come on, guys. Ondo, VeChain, nothing else? That. Okay, I'm gonna do Ondo and Fetch. Let me see. Do I have here an Ondo chart? I know that I have Ondo here somewhere on. TARS, never heard TARS. Let's see, Ondo. Okay, let's do first Fetch. I was in forever not on a Fetch chart, to be honest. So here, that's a 4-hourly chart. This is not looking that bad for a 4-hourly chart. So you have here a massive falling wedge going on since basically over, close to $1. Yeah, that's from, that's like from a month ago. We were with Fetch at $1. So yeah, so you have here a huge discount already. So this is just on a 4-hourly chart. Look at this here. So this is a 42, almost 43% that it has retraced. This is definitely a buy now. It's also on a 4-hourly chart heavily oversold. I think on a daily will be pretty similar. Yeah, close to be massively oversold. So yeah, that is for me already a massive buy. See here, I have still here lines. I don't know for how long I have these lines here on this chart, but for a really, really long time. So if we come back down here to like below 50 cents, also here like for my Fetch position for my long-term holdings, I would buy as much as I can get my hands on down here. So I still have limit orders sitting there that are unfilled. So if they get filled, I will be so happy if I get here another chance below 50 cents for Fetch. So for a long setup, what I would be looking for is that we hold this 4-hourly candle in that falling wedge, and when I see when the next 4-hourly candle starts here in an hour, so basically in 1.5 hours from now, I would look at the 30 minutes chart, and if that candle is green and the 4-hourly candle is also green, that's where I would enter this. So that would be potentially around 60 cents, I would guess, round about there, here 60 cents, and then I would target these highs here from that wick of that candle here. So there's again a 17% move. And I would use the current 4-hourly candle's low as my stop loss. So it is a roughly 5.7% stop, 5.3% stop loss, but 17% to the upside. So definitely worth to try this. So now the last one. Okay, now we got some more coins here. Let's see here. What do I have? Okay, I'm gonna stick what I said earlier with Ondo. So let's see here, Ondo. Wow, that looks pretty similar to Fetch, but the difference is here is potentially not falling wedge going on. Maybe. Not a huge fan of that. That's more like it. More like it. Yeah, also here. So here, a little bit different. You want that Ondo breaks back into that falling wedge. Once it breaks back into the falling wedge, then it becomes a buy for me. So you want here. Then we go back there. Then here you have also almost a 16% move to the upside. Again, current 4-hourly candle, wherever that low of that candle is, would be my stop loss. And that's how I would trade this to the upside. Guys, I have to run. It's exactly 10 p.m. That's when I want to stop the stream. Thank you so much for tuning in here on this Sunday. I try to stream a little bit more here now in the future again. Yeah, I basically was too scrambling around with too much stuff there. I was like, okay, it's better I just do a stream. It was just much easier for me to do that. Yeah, again, thank you so much for tuning in. It was an amazing stream. Don't forget, smash up the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, and I'm going to see you again tomorrow.